So, today is the 4th of November, and on this day in 1968, Wichita Lineman, the album by Glenn Campbell, was released, and I'm listening to the title track of that album right now. And it's one that I have remarkably fond memories of. I grew up listening to basically what my parents played on a weekend when I was a little bit younger, and one of those songs was Wichita Lineman. There was other stuff by, Don McLean's American Pie, Slim Whitman, Roger Whittaker, musicians like this, not exactly the London music that I also liked to listen to at the time, like The Clash. But nonetheless, they played it and on records, and I really liked it. I don't have this song on records, I'm just streaming it. But I still nonetheless have really fond memories of the song, even if later in life I realised I didn't really love the politics of Glenn Campbell so much. But this is great, stuff like Rhinestone Cowboy as well. How could you not like all that? And anyway, I still do. And it makes me wonder, of course, whether when I'm long gone, will my son think of music that I played? I'm not convinced that will be true, although I do know he listens to the odd track that we've both enjoyed together. But still. Anyway, it turns out there is a cocktail called a Wichita Lineman, and I found it in this quite interesting book called Drinking Like Ladies, and it's a book that is filled with recipes by female bartenders and marks the exploits, adventures and successes of women in it. And the cocktail, the Wichita Lineman, is by a mixologist called Josie Packard from Boston. And it's not in honor of Glenn Campbell, it turns out. It's actually in honor of a session musician who played on this song as well as on countless thousands of others. And her name was Carol Kay, and she played the bass on this, and as I say, many, many other songs. In the book it says like more than 10,000 songs, so that's quite an achievement. And that in and of itself, as well as this song, cheesy old song that I really like, is worth marking with this cocktail we're going to have today, the Wichita Lineman. And it is, not surprisingly, for a Wichita in the title, it's the Midwest, Kansas, but I don't know if it's known for its whiskey, but that's what it's made with in this drink. I'm using bourbon. I'm using a Washington bourbon called 2 Bar Spirit Straight Bourbon Whiskey. And we need 1 ounce of that in this drink. And then something that most definitely is not from Wichita is Aperol, our slightly bitter orange aperitivo from Italy. We want 1 ounce of that in this drink. Should give it a nice, interesting color, I think. Then we also want some, you can see I've got a pineapple here. I'm not going to squeeze a pineapple, blend it, whatever you have to do to get the juice. I'm using one of these little cans of pineapple juice, something that you'll probably be more likely to have in your house, to be honest, than a pineapple like that, although I am going to use a couple of the fronds to garnish our drink. 1 ounce of our not freshly squeezed pineapple juice, like so. That's not all the juice that's in there. We're also going to have some lemon juice. We just want a 1/2 ounce of that. All goes into our shaker that I've already filled with ice, and you don't want to waste any time on this. I'm spending enough time talking, as you all know. Give that a good shake. That should do us, because actually we're not going to pour this shaken because of all the citrus and the pineapple in it. We're not going to pour it without ice. I'm going to pour it into a Collins glass, a tall glass like so, filled with ice as well. And I'm going to just pour that, strain that in there, and that is a pretty good color. Like so, but wait, there's more. I've mentioned before my emergency little mini bottles of Prosecco. Now this recipe, the way that Josie Packard wrote about it or invented it, it was with Cava, so Spanish sparkling wine. I don't have Cava here, I could get it, but I've got this Prosecco and that will do. So you've just got to top up the rest of the glass with the Cava carefully, because you don't want it to all bubble over the top. That'd be one of my usual tricks, of course. And I have to admit, it's a really delightful light peach sort of coloured drink here. Looks about right. It's a yeah, 2 or 3 ounces of that stuff. And then we're going to use our fronds from the pineapple, like so. And you can see it's because the sparkling wine went in afterwards, it's like this really cool layered drink. Okay, let's see what we've got. Oh yes, that is worth staying on the line for. Cheers.